Well, a handful of cabinet ministers will address the Assembly of First Nations gathering in Ottawa today, the third of the final day of meetings. Possible pipeline from Alberta is expected to be on the agenda. CTV National News reporter Jeremie Charron joins us with more on this. So, Jeremie, what are the most pressing issues to be addressed?
Yeah, look, Kent, the pipeline certainly has been a big focus already. The MOU between Alberta and Ottawa in the first 2 days of this Special Chiefs Assembly, the AFN Special Chiefs Assembly here in Ottawa. And I expect that will be a focus again today during a panel with some cabinet ministers. A slew of Carney's cabinet ministers will be at the meeting today during a panel this morning. Look, so far this has been a special assembly or special meeting of First Nations chiefs that has focused a lot on opposition to the Memorandum of Understanding between Ottawa and Alberta, but more broadly, the fact that First Nations leaders feel as though, chiefs feel as though, they have not been consulted adequately so far and have not been involved in these major projects as much as they believe they would be. The Prime Minister has been clear, a focus of his government will be to move forward with these projects of national interest, these major projects, a lot of which are impacting First Nations and their lands. And the promise has been that First Nations leaders would be involved, would be consulted, would be partners in a lot of these projects and would be able to benefit from these projects as well. First Nations communities would be able to benefit, financially and through security guarantees. This was pitched as something that could benefit First Nations communities. And quite clearly, First Nations leaders feel as though that has not been the case so far. So, up until now, we've seen much pushback against Prime Minister Mark Carney. He spoke to the First Nations chiefs on Tuesday, addressed the room, and faced a lot of backlash, faced a lot of pressure. Prior to his opening remarks on Tuesday, the Assembly passed an emergency resolution to officially reject the Alberta MOU. And so they've been clear that they feel as though so far they've not been consulted as was promised, and they would like to be more involved and have a say. They completely oppose, so far as it stands, the agreement between Ottawa and Alberta and any changes to the oil ban, the tanker ban rather, that is promised as part of that agreement. So I expect today we'll see a lot more pushback, and the Prime Minister's cabinet ministers are going to have to continue some of those conversations to assure First Nations leaders that they will be part of things moving forward, and that nothing is going to move ahead without Indigenous partnership, which is the message that the Prime Minister has been putting forward. So far, it hasn't been received. First Nations chiefs don't seem to believe the promises that are being made.
Okay, Jeremie, thank you.